We are live!
We are.
Yay! Welcome everyone to our broadcasted studio. So here there's Deepa Parbo, Dana Goldoni is on the other side, and Elena Buriani, myself. We are in Dubai. Dana is in Italy, in my home country, actually also in my home city. And it's a great pleasure to be here with you today. So the topic of the day, we are honoring the Mind Meditation International Day. And everybody around the world today is celebrating the importance of meditation. Being a coach myself, a meditation and mindful expert, and Dana on the other side, an aromatherapist, we really wanted to find a common scope, a common topic that would excite the three of us. And we found that that could be transition. So today we are talking about how to drive the self empowerment of who you really are, even during transition. Do you want to add something, girls?
How to go back to yourself during that transition, because I think transition is a part where obviously a lot is happening. So you can definitely get lost into the details or the clutter of everything that's happening around you. And so that's how meditation and breathing techniques really help you to go back to yourself and ground yourself and go back to what you really want, even though everything around you is changing. Yeah.
Dana, do you want to add something?
You are so smart. I don't have anything to add. I mean, of
Okay,
course,
so
I go on.
as you wish.
Okay. I want to thank you, girls, because this is an amazing topic, and I think this is the right moment to talk about it. We are all transitioning to at least to adjust. Even if we are not transitioning to something else, at least to adjust to what is happening right now.
Yeah.
And anything is not certain, and it's clear for us. And I thank my oils, and I thank you for helping me going through this moment. And I hope that you guys at home will take something from what we are going to talk about our experience, what we think, what we use to feel better, because that's the point, isn't it?
Exactly. So this is what we really want to give today. It's not about simply talking, but we really want you to get home with some tools that you can use. The most important thing we thought when we were preparing this live talk was, okay, but and this is the first question I want to really, throw out there. How do we know that we are in transition? Because sometimes we are so much trapped into our daily routine, into our stressful thought, sometimes also into our negative self-talking, into the timetable, the schedule, our to-do list, etc., 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 that we don't even stop and realize, well, I am in transition. I am in transition from somewhere to somewhere, or just simply, as Dana said, even just adapting to a new reality, it means being in transition. So, according to you, Deepa, what will tell you that you are in transition? How do you know?
I think sometime the first thing when you are experiencing transition is that you feel a bit lost because you actually don't know where to focus or where to go to because there are lots of things changing, new things, or maybe also transition is about letting go of things that we actually don't want to let go of. But that's like the biggest part, I think, for me, I realized because I'm in a big transition in my life now, is to be okay to let go. And I mean, you don't like to be okay to let go, to try as much as I can to reach my goals. Uh, and moreover, I think like what we said last time is be okay with the failures. Uh, I think these three are like really big part of a transition.
And maybe you realize you are in transition when you have this topic, buzzing in your head. It's like, let that go cost me a lot. I feel I'm stuck. I don't really know where to go, what is right for me, what is wrong for me. This feeling of uncertainty, this feeling of being unsure of what would be good, what would be not good. um, this already is telling you that you are in transition. According to me, is also when you feel that what you know or what that you have already done in the past is not enough for you to find the right answer. This is, according to me, where I feel I am in transition. Yeah, I have already 40 years. I have experienced so many things. I have going through so many different challenges. But yet, today, I'm feeling that I don't know what is right or wrong. And I don't know which part of my knowledge, my expertise, my previous background I need to use in order to go through this situation. Then you are in transition. It means that you require something more of what you think you should have and you don't actually. What it is about you, Dana?
What you were talking about, to me is very active transition. Like you don't feel fine, but or you are realizing like something is changing. But sometimes it's not that easy. It's never easy, but sometimes it's just more passive, in my opinion, and it's probably what I felt these last 2 years. And it's that frustration that nothing is changing and nothing is working, and I'm doing something. It feels like mud, being in a mud, in mud, like, and that feeling that you're trying to do something, you try to make it right, and it still doesn't work. And that's transition because I'm learning something new. I am in the process of changing something that is not quite right yet. And that's transition. So I just would like you to focus also on that sensation, on that feeling when you feel stuck, while instead of, it's like the glass, half full or half not full. Empty. um, you might be stuck, or you might not realize that you're actually moving forward and not accepting that moving, or not having the right skill yet that you are developing. So it's still transition, isn't it? How deep am I? My
Yeah.
friends know that I'm never that deep, so don't worry. I think sometimes.
So Dana, I know if it's only me, but your voice it's a
Yeah.
little bit far. Can you try to move
Oh,
closer to the
let's
speaker?
try. Did you hear me though?
It's like there's something in the
It,
Did
it
you
mic.
seems
hear me?
there's something on the mic.
Did you hear me? What I
Now it's
said?
better.
Yes.
Now it's much better. That's cool. Okay, so we haven't said much about who we are, and we haven't
Yeah.
said much about what brought us together. And I think that by answering to these questions, maybe we can tell you a little bit more about us. So, what has been the biggest transition we have been going through? Um, and this is what made you who you are, kind of, because usually, and you will discover, maybe going back, we want to invite you to do the same, going back thinking what have been your biggest transitions in life, and really think, wow, it really thanks to those transitions that I am who I am today. Because we are always transiting when we learn something new, when we change country, when we change career, when we get married, when we have kids, when, every kind of milestones in our life are transitions. So while we are sharing our biggest transition, we really would love you to start thinking what have been your biggest transition in life. Dana, maybe you can start first. Tell us about your transition you have been going
Can you
through.
hear me now?
Much
Yes,
better.
better.
Thank you.
Okay, the microphone set in. Before I couldn't do that. All right, perfect. Yes. So transition, as I said before, the past 2 years were quite challenging, and I've been working with essential oils for the past 6 7 years, and it was not something I would have expected while growing up. I studied to be a scientist, and I managed to be a scientist, but I realized that I was not happy. And I was a scientist while I was around Europe, and I felt alone at the end. When I got to my goal, I didn't feel right. And I said, all right, let's go back home and see what happens. And coming home, and that's a huge transition, I would say, I think. But coming back home, I realized that science in Italy is super hard, especially if you don't know somebody. And many of you might not agree with me if you are Italian. But that's the feeling I had. And I went back to what I knew, which was science outreach, which I did before. I knew it. In Bologna, there is a huge foundation that has developed amazing programs, but they offered me nothing as, to has a salary, like very, very low salary. And I was like, you know what? Let's try something different. I have my this occupation, how do you call it?
I don't
My money from the government, because I was unemployment, it's called. And I said, okay, let's take a sabbatical. And I cooked a lot. I tied up my place, my new place, and I started using essential oils, which I didn't even know they worked. In fact, in the past, they didn't work. And actually, I saw that these oils I was using, they were working. And so I thought, let's try. Let's give it a try. I try to jump into things. Just thinking about doing something like that scares me. But if I jump in it, like close my eyes and do it, it just goes ahead. And for 2 years and a half, 3 years, I was against the kind of distribution that this company that I chose used. And that made me like, what you have to do. Everybody's telling you what you should be doing, and nothing is working because you don't want to do it. Does it happen to you sometimes? It's just so
That's the
easy.
reality. I just don't
Of
want to do
course.
it.
But you don't want to say that to yourself. It's just you invent all your excuses. And then at the end, I got to the point where I had to choose. Do I want to keep going with this thing, which I felt like it was my baby, my really like new thing, and or I give up and I find a normal job, what people think is a normal job. And I decided to bend and learn and do actually what it is needed to be done. And so, but while I did that, that's a big step. And I realized that these moments are like, they happen often, like you feel like stuck, you feel like something is not working, you feel like you're learning something, and it's the part of learning that I don't like because I feel stuck. So if you tell me that I have to prepare a new exam, I just want to scream. Of course, I don't study anymore. I don't want to study anymore at university because of that. Because once you have done, have studied everything, things, and it's amazing. But sometimes people just like me, just is stuck in the moment where they have to learn, they have to
Yeah,
change, they have
that's
to
what you're
develop something.
saying. You really touch upon very important topics related to transition. And one is being aware that where you are is not working anymore.
Oh, yeah.
And you had you gave us these hints, uh, it comes that point in which really bravery and courageousness is the only thing that can save you.
Save
You know,
us.
idea that is like, okay, whatever, I feel deeply inside that, yet yes, I am resisting, but the only way for me to move forward is take that leap, so I like the vision of, okay, just close your eyes and just jump, because that's the only thing that can save you. Take consciously the choice of moving forward, and this requires bravery, self-awareness. Yes, I'm stuck. To bravery, I move forward. And then you also tap upon another very important, I think, awareness, that is, once I am there, I don't like where I am. I mean, I've jumped. Yes, I took the conscious decision. Yes, I jumped, and then I find myself with all my limits, all the things that I don't know, and I try to resist. And I know that I have to learn things new, but I don't want to do it. And there's this kind of battle, is an internal battle. And then it comes a moment in transition where we feel, okay, I have to let go of something, and maybe might be that resistance in changing. And I have to start something new, which is learning. Only when you learn it all, then your transition is kind of completed, is over, and you made that true. So we really identify four important stages, being self-aware that you need to transit, be brave and courageous to decide to move forward, face the fact that you have limits that you need to overcome in order to move forward, and start overcoming those limits. And now I also want to say, Dana is very, very humble, but after the transition she made in her career as a scientist, she became one of the major experts of aromatherapy in Italy, and she has a huge network, and she's the Italian female representative for aromatherapy. So she learned a lot. We could say she was very brave, very courageous, and she learned a lot. But still, she screams when I ask her to do something new. But it's amazing. It's amazing to witness the process. What do you think has been your biggest transition, Deepa?
I think my biggest transition is the one that's coming like in 2 weeks and a half. I'm still like,
we are cheering you. Go, go, go.
I'm in the face of like, now it's like really like there's no turning point, it's just like, now I took the leap. The next step is going to take the flight, and then I'm going. So I have different hats, and I definitely merged different worlds or different culture with what I do in life. Lately, I was working for the Universal Expo, which was held at Dubai, and I was first interior designer. I helped different countries doing their design and content, so that was like a amazing scope. Then I moved to public relations and media manager, and so that's like 2 hats for Expo. The third hat, which I've been holding for a few years, is a meditation coach. And I started also doing some meditation and mindfulness classes at Expo, like during basically during the COVID, when COVID hit, Expo asked me to do like classes for our staff, for my colleagues and departments. So I did like few talks with them also and few sessions. And that really helped me in figuring out the next step I wanted to take, which is after living in Dubai for 6 years, I'm gonna move out of Dubai. I'm basically selling everything I have here, and I'm going on a solo trip in Central America and South America. And I say this, I'm like shaking because it's just like, oh my God, I'm really doing this. And I hope during that time I'll use all my skills. Like I'll use the meditation, I'll use the managing skills, the design skills. Yeah, so that's the idea. That's like the big dream, big goal. And again, like I'm still learning. I still have a lot of fears, but I still have a lot of courage. And my gut's feeling are just telling me that I need to move on and I need to continue. And I just feel definitely more aligned with myself. So I think I'm on the right path.
Yes, you are. She is, right? Yeah, the bravery was really, quitting the normal, stable life where you
The
have
comfort.
your house, your well-paid job, your recognition, your friends, your culture, and have the chance to embrace something you are desiring to embrace, but you have that fear, of taking the leap. So I can really acknowledge Deepa courageousness from the very, very beginning when I met her 3 years ago. And that's beautiful, again, to witness. So when it comes to me, I would say that my biggest transition was really to leave Italy and move to Dubai with my entire family, realizing that I had, as a mother and as a wife, to put the core of my family in the center of my life, of my future. I have been raised quite as a lonely and wild child, and I never had family as a strong value because basically it was not there. I always have been quite solo. I feel, very similar to Deepa, solo, traveling in all the challenges of growing up as a little girl, as a teenager, as a, graduated, as a recruiter for a big multinational company. And, and you reach that point where I also were not feeling okay. I was really work driven, ego driven, because of course, when you grow up alone, you are really, really self-centered, and you need to if you want to survive, because nobody else will take care of you if you don't take care of yourself. And I had, my husband loving me, my two amazing kids to raise and to protect. And I was not ready for that. I was not ready to be maybe a mom or a wife, But life gave me a son with special needs that was claiming for help every single day, being kicked out from 5 schools, and then, finding our entire family without any support, without us, anybody getting us, feeling rejected, feeling judged. And it was very big. It was very big. And I felt I could not hold on to all this problem and all these struggles. But still, life was telling me, you have to go through this. You are not alone anymore. Your son is suffering, is asking you for help. All their circumstances are showing you that you can finally get your strength from your family, and through the strength you will acquire, you can also get them stronger. You can get your marriage stronger. You can get your son stronger, your second daughter stronger. And eventually, once you get there, you can even show your regional family how far you have been, and maybe also help them to get the same strength. And maybe you can also, being a role model for other parents or other leaders or other, business owner, freelancer, startupper that want to go through the same transformation. So the journey I've been going through to save myself and start being nurtured by the love of my family allow me to understand that I wanted to be a coach and that I want to help other people to go through the same transformation we have been going through, or me as a woman, as a mother, as a wife, as an entrepreneur, as a business owner, I've been going through. And every day I'm learning something new because you know better than me, being a startupper, you are always in transition. You are always every single day in transition. So I really would love, we already gave you some juicy, content. But we want to share with you, as said, some tools on how we can navigate through transition. I feel like I've been talking a lot. Dana,
No,
how
you're
can
not.
we do transition?
No, you haven't, and it's amazing to hear you talk about your experience, and really, I'm speechless. Anyway, so here we are to talk about what we can use to help us when we don't feel we are going where we think we should be going, let's say. And because our brain always overwork, and sometimes we just should let it go, don't you think? Like accept that things change as part of what we are. Once I went to a class where a training where this amazing chiropractor was teaching how to use essential oils physically. And it was, I think, the best training I've ever went through. And what he said that really stuck with me is that our body is made of water. And what does water do? Flows. Everything that is stuck, it's bad. Everything that flows is good. What better image for transition, don't you think?
Yeah.
And so that's when I thought about how to use essential oils and which oil I wanted to choose for today. And to give you an example. And so something for flowing, something that lets you be grounded so that you can accept changes. And that's why I decided to choose a grounding oil that the company I chose, which is doTERRA, called Balance, and it's an amazing oil. Yep, like that. An amazing oil that yeah,
Cross
good
country.
job. Yes, cross country. That has beautiful. That has how do you call Pinot in
Hi.
English?
Pine
Pine.
tree.
Yes, sorry, yeah, pine tree. Yeah, sorry, pine tree. It's easy. And camphora and tanacetum and chamomile, osmanthus are oils, are flowers, and woods, trees. So trees have deep roots, like we should have sometimes, to ground us and to let us feel strong enough to be able to get changes. And flowers are amazing because they give you that feeling that you can do everything. Flowers, oils from flowers are, I think, the most precious thing that exists. Imagine rose oil,
Mm.
the oil from rose. It's one of the most precious that exists and wildly used. If makes you feel like you are a queen, you can do everything you want. And so balance is an amazing blend of all this. But why do they work? As I told you before, I was a scientist. I mean, I'm still a little bit in my in my mind. So
In your
every
root,
time, what?
in your root.
In my roots, yeah. So um, every time I hear something or I read something, I want to know why things happen. In fact, my doctorate is in physiology, so I need to understand in my body how things work. And so, how would I use and why would essential oils work? Because there is an essential oil for everything. Really, I'm not kidding. And if you can think about anything, physical, mental, or energetic, if you want, there is an oil for that. And it's not that hard to find it. And you know why? Because our brain is made in a way that it's connected with the olfactory nerve that is just here. You just do this. You just take your hands and put it here, and here it's where your olfactory nerve is, right? And so when you smell something, right, in a diffuser, for example, or just from your hands, I have little kittens that are screaming right now. So you smell it like that. Our brain is gonna get these molecules because essential oils are made from small molecules, and you can smell them because they evaporate that fast, but they are molecules, and as such, they work. So that's why you have to be very, very careful when you choose an essential oil, because even if you just smell it, you are absorbing it. And when I smell it, of course, it passed through my nerve system, but also gets to my lung.
Yeah.
What are the lungs made for? To exchange air with oxygen, no, in the blood. So, what are they made for? To get the essential oils in our bloodstream. And that's how it works. So they really, really, really work. And that's why I love them, because they work and they work fast. So imagine that you are driving. That's how I understood how balance worked. Okay, that's just a quick story. I was driving in the traffic, peak hour, and I was crazy. I was like, yeah, yeah, yeah. Italians, we always scream in the car. And it's like we are alone. So I was like, I have to get there. I'm late, blah, blah, blah. And then I remember this friend of mine telling me, Dana, balance, just ring. And so I was like, okay, here and here, just on the back of the skull, it's very close to your brain. And so it gets absorbed very quickly. And it worked. Like in a matter of 5 minutes or less, I was like, all right, I'm not that late. It's just a few minutes. I have a cell phone and Bluetooth. I can call and say I'm going to be late. And then I was fine. Isn't it amazing? And imagine you can do that in your life. So, Deepa, a lot of balance in these 2 weeks because it really, really
That's
works.
why I wrote it today to give it to her.
Together with your breathing techniques that you are going to show us now, and it's just the top, right? So go ahead and tell us how to use it, how to breathe it.
Hey, so I thank you very much, and this is was related on. I want to just step one step back, and Dana said something very important. So that you. So why are we choosing that oil? So that we can do what? Initially, I we thought when we were talking, and I have experience from my from my coaching session, but also when I got coached myself, and also even with my psychologist, and the therapist that I have received. The most important things before you go to any new process is to set your intention. I'm taking that leap. I am courageous. I am willing to do something more, so that, and you have to be able to answer these questions before you start any single transition or process, call it as you wish. And this is also the way we start any coaching session. What is your intention? What do you want to take away from this session, from this process, from this transition? How will you know at the end of it that you really got where you wanted, that you really will took away what you want? And this is essential, like the oil is essential. Yeah. So set your intention before you go in choosing your oil, before you take the leap, before you grab all your bravery and courageousness, before you put you through learning, screaming, limits, etc. Because is your intention that, like a lighthouse, will always remind you, why are you doing that? Your intentions are your roots. There's no way for your tree to have flowers if the roots are not rooted, if the roots are rotten, if the roots are too weak or sick, or they do not get the right nutrients. So your intention is the key. We would love to invite to everybody that is listening, after you have been visualizing the big transition you have been going through in the past, that made you what you are today, what is the intention that you want to set in order to navigate through this transition where you are today? Really take some time to think about it, because this is the core, is the only thing that, despite everything around you will be shaking, can bring you back home, can makes you feel, yeah, I'm right. I'm resonating with that. I'm aligned with that. As Deepa said, this was not aligned with myself. And it doesn't have to be that far, give a specific intention that is measurable, that is tangible, that you can say, yes, I did it. So it's not simply, I want to be happy. This is a too fluffy intention, So it needs to be a very rooted intention that you can evaluate, a key result, something that is measurable. And it could be, for example, okay, as Deepa is in transition right now, what could be your specific intention for this 6 months navigating through Central and South America? Oof. And while she's thinking, you can think about yourself if you feel you're in transition right now, or you can even drop it in the comments, down here if you are following.
My biggest intention might be still too broad, but it would be definitely self-discoveries. One of the reasons, there are so many reasons I'm doing that travel. First, I've always wanted, I was laughing with a friend. She's working on, how do you say something? Multicultural bias, and how you can remove the bias that you have about people. And she was asking me, because I'm mixing so many worlds, I'm mixing worlds with my culture, because I'm Indian, but then I was born in Congo. Then I did my studies in the Belgian school. I speak French, I speak English, I speak Dutch, I speak Spanish. so many worlds. And my friend was asking me like, what was your dream job when you were little? And I think at some point I'm going to achieve a bit of it, which is traveling the world while diving. Who has that as a, I mean, who has that as a dream? But yeah, so that like my travel is like self-discovery, and I think it's pushing my boundaries to see how far I can go. Maybe I that's still broad.
Yeah. And then
It's
you
still
can ask
broad.
yourself, how will I know that I have self-discovered myself the way I
I
wanted?
wanted to.
So what
Yeah.
make that self-discovering tangible? It could be, for example, that I will understand which job I want to do,
Yes.
that I will understand in which country I want to live and for how many years. Yeah. So this can
Yeah.
already be an intention, just taking deep as an example, right?
Or it could
Um,
be just going with the flow.
I was about
Let
to
it
say
go.
the like I've been in Dubai for 6 years. I was working for Expo for around like 4 years, and like when you work for such a mega event, obviously, well, there's a lot of planning. There is a lot of like my life was around deadline and schedules and be on point and be on time and just like like this, everything was set. Of course, it was also going with the flow because when you say mega event, you also say like changes because people are not available all the time. Then you add the COVID situation, so already like Expo was like teaching me how it was important to go with the flow. And now my travel has been even more showing me. First, it showed me that I did not want to set up any calendar, which was scary at the beginning because obviously everyone asked me like first my parents are freaking out. They're like, oh my god, you're gonna go, you're alone and you don't have a schedule, you don't know where you're gonna end up, you don't know how much time you're gonna take. And I'm like, guys, it's my life, it's my decision, I'm doing it like for myself, with myself, so just let me be and I'll just go with the flow. And
Perfect. And this is an amazing example. If my intention is I go with the flow, I want to just be.
yes,
How will I know that I'm there? The fact that I will feel right, even
exactly,
if I don't know what I have to do later. I
exactly,
feel right being in the present moment, enjoy every single person I will connect with,
yes,
space I will be visiting, without thinking, what will I do next? Or without thinking, oh, I have this meeting, I have this person to see, I have this
exactly.
agenda. Having this constant, chewing of thought in your brain that doesn't allow you to be where you are. And this is an amazing example. So after we have set our intention, as Dana said, choose your oil. You might be expert enough to choose your own oil, or you just might go with the flow, enter in a shop and smell all of them and pick up the
I
one that.
forgot. I forgot to tell you. You just smell them. If you like them, they are right. That was my point. I didn't make it before. I lost it. Just smell the oils and see what you really love. If you feels like it's correct, feel it and use it. It always works, especially emotionally. So
Mm.
super easy.
Yeah, and then another thing that, of course, if you want to take it in a learning and into a next level, there are plenty of experts that can help you to understand which would be the right oil, or also that can help you saying, "Oh, have you been choosing this oil? Then maybe now I can tell the reason why, what these oils stand for." What are how this oil will empower you physically, emotionally, etc. So there's a science behind, as Dana proved it. So make sure you choose your oil. This will help you grounding. It will help you reinforcing your intention. So if you are able to combine that intention with a essence, yeah, Every time you will smell that essence, you will reconnect with the intention. And every time you connect with the intention, you can reinforce that intention by smelling your oil.
Exactly.
So it's a kind of creating, in coaching, we call that structure. It's something tangible that you can use to remind yourself what you want to do. And essential oil works fantastically. Why? Because you might believe in crystals, you might believe in watching a picture, so using your sights. You might believe in your wisdom, in your self empowerment. But what make oil a little bit more special is that they are really tangible. Those molecules, they're really going inside your nose. They're really tapping into your brain. They're really going into your bloodstream. So it's it's like drinking a supplements, kind of. You
Right,
know,
it is actually.
you know that they are working.
It's the same as smelling something. Like, you know, when you walk around in spaces and then you smell something and suddenly like, oh my god, that reminds me of the cake my mom used to do when I was that age, and that was like such a good cake. That's the
La
idea. It's
Madeleine.
thinking with your intention.
Yeah, absolutely. It needs to be like that. It needs really to be like that. And the third stage we want you to guide through is the breathing technique.
Okay,
Go.
so breathing. Now that we've talked about like essential oil and the intention, I think we're going to link it to how you can use the breathing with those two. If you've got the essential oil, I would ask you to put it on the wrist and here, and then you can massage it a bit, and then perfect.
We are all following you, you see.
Yeah. Then a bit on the hands,
I'm just gonna make it to you so you are more focused.
and then we're gonna use the breathing in through the nose and then breathing out through the mouth. Breathe in. You can close your eyes. Breathe out. And while we do that, try to breathe in to the count of 4 and then to breathe out to the count of 7. And just acknowledge how your body feels when you do it. So breathe in, breathe out. In, out, in, out, gently. Continue. Don't mind about the count, just say continue and focus again on your intention. Link the intention to the oil and to your breathing. And lastly, breathe in and out. And you go back to your normal breath and just see how you feel. It's one of the exercises that I generally teach to people when I start my classes, because a lot of people, there is a lot of like misconception on meditation or misconception of the breathing and how it works. And the breathing in out to the count of 4 and to the count of 7 is something that has helped a lot of people. Maybe like, for example, with the event time when we had talks and people were stressing out, or before sleeping, it always helped to calm your body and to just go to sleep at ease, or go to your meetings being more grounded and with more self-awareness also.
Oh, that's amazing. I I I I was thinking, while we were breathing,
Mm-hmm.
what could be a kind of maybe meditation, or that we can use to bring intention into the breathing, as you were saying, bring the intention while you are breathing. um, is there something you would recommend us to do to reinforce that? Because I feel that sometimes when I breathe, I'm so much focused into the breath, and when you ask me, focus onto the intention, the two things were kind
They're
of
like overlapping,
overlapping.
of course.
So how do you think we can
The
bring the two things together?
the first thing with the meditation when you do it is first you start with the breathing. So you calm your mind, you calm your thoughts, and you will see by yourself that when you will do maybe 5 breaths like this, even few seconds of what we've done, your mind will already be steady and your breath will already be calmer. And when that happens, you will be able to focus on your intention. And focusing on your intention while focusing also on how that intention makes you feel would be a good way to hold on to that intention and tap into this more and more.
Yeah, that's cool. Do you want to guide us through that?
We can.
What do you think? Do we have time for that? We can do that maybe.
Okay.
Yeah. I enjoyed that much the breathing that I want to go more. I want to more leaping.
Nice. I love that. Okay. So now you can close your eyes. Make sure your back is upright. Try to uncross your legs and have your feet on the ground if possible. Then the arms, make sure the hands are on your laps, the palms facing the sky, so that you can be open to the new energies, the good one. Breathing in and out through the nose, gently and softly. Eyes closed if they're not closed yet. Focus on my voice and on your breath, gently and softly. Let your breath guide you and allow your body and your mind to relax. In and out. Gently connecting with your intention. Visualize it. Depending on people, the intention or emotions can come either as an image, as a sound. So just connect to that, to however it comes to you. This is your own intention. Tap into that and connect to the power it gives you. Connect to the trust it gives you. Allow yourself to be more aligned with that. Breathing to that intention, to the power it gives you, to the love it gives you, to the trust. Visualize it, acknowledge it. And as you breathe out, let go of the things that don't serve you. so that you focus on everything that helps you going with that intention. Let go of everything that does not help you and focus on that intention more and more. In and out, connect to the power, the trust it gives you, the love it gives you, allowing your mind and your body to be okay with it. Nice. Now you can slowly and gently just let go of the intention. Remember to link it to the essential oil we had. And slowly, gently, at your own pace and time, you can go back to your normal breathing, to moving your fingers, moving your head, and when you're ready, opening your eyes.
And come back.
And come back
Da-da-da.
with a smile.
With a smile, with a big smile on your face. So I
How
really
powerful is it? Wow.
It's nice, huh?
Uh-huh.
So, yeah, it was a really nice one.
Yeah, it was really nice. And the good thing is that it's recorded. So you can go back to this same guided meditation whenever you feel like.
Yes.
We're gonna also make sure potentially that Deepa will get this part separately, so you can you can follow Deepa as well, Dana on Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook. Follow her journey,
Oh
her
my
crazy
God.
journey.
Please.
And then
do.
in addition, if you want to be supported during your transition, just make sure you're gonna link into this link, because through that free session you will get with us in Leah, we can get you connected to Deepa, we can get you to connected to Dana, we can get you connected to transitional coaches who can specifically who are specifically trained to guide their client through transitions. And we don't want it to let you down. We will be there with you at any time. And sorry, I just removed that. Make sure you don't think of doing that alone. Thank you, Daniel Smith, for your
Thanks,
comments.
Daniel.
It was amazing, and I hope really much more people will benefit of this talk we have had today.
Yes.
I'm very honored to be surrounded by those two amazing women. And what glued us together is also the awareness that we can help you guys, and what we have learned that brought us here through your transition, you can learn from us, and we keep learning every day. We want you to learn, because it's literally possible to accomplish your intentions, to make them happen, make them become real in your life, in a journey of self-expansion, self-fulfillment, thriving, etc. So thank you, Deepa.
Thank you, Elena.
And thank you,
Thank
Dana.
Thank you.
And keep following us. Who knows who's going to come next?
Keep following us.
And learn how to go with the flow with ease, and while enjoying it and enjoying the learning, the lessons that life gives us, because that's the beauty of life. And the only certain thing about life is that
It
it's
flows.
always gonna change, and it flows.
Right. It
The more
flows.
you go with the flow, better it's going to be.
Right. Bye, guys. Have
Bye.
a wonderful weekend and enjoy.
Thank you. Thank you. Bye
Thank
bye.
you.